Good morning, one and all. So last class we are discussing about the basic principle as well as EMF equation of a transformer. So EMF equation of a transformer. So E1 is equal to 4.44 into F into phi m into N1. So E2 is equal to 4.44 into F into phi m into N2. So we can already find out the transformation ratio. K is equal to E2 by E1, V2 by V1, I1 by I2 is equal to N2 by N1. So based on this relation, we can easily find out the transformation ratio. So whenever the resistance is to be referred to the primary to secondary or secondary to primary, so which is always plays the major role in between the change of process in between the primary and secondary windings. So another one is, so today we are discussing about the transformer is to be operates on no load condition as well as on load condition. So first one is transformer on no load. Transformer is to be operates on no load condition. So in this, so first of all we can draw the diagram of a transformer. So which is the magnetic core. Another one is, so which is equal to primary winding. Another one is secondary winding. So in this, transformer is to be operates on no load condition means secondary terminals are always open circuited. So which is equal to open circuited. So in this, so we are always connecting the AC supply, alternating supply, which is equal to V, corresponding current is equal to I. So in this, transformer is to be operates on no load condition means whatever the current is to be drawn from the supply, which is to be denoted by I0. So corresponding current is also drawn from the supply is equal to V0. I0 and V0. So I0 and V0 is always indicated as the no load conditions. So no load voltage is equal to V0 and I0. So the process or operation of a transformer on no load condition is, so whenever the supply or alternating supply is to be given to the primary of a transformer, which is to be generates the flux. So that flux is also links with primary itself. It induces an EMF which is to be denoted by E1. So corresponding same flux is to be interlinked with secondary winding. So that flux is also links with secondary winding. It induces an EMF which is to be denoted by E2, but load current must be is equal to 0. So potential difference between these 2 points is equal to E2 volts, but current I2 is equal to 0. So in this process, load current is equal to 0 in the sense whatever the losses is to be existing in a transformer, so those losses is to be worked out by using current and voltage. So whatever the voltage and current is to be drawn from the supply, which is always utilizing the overcome the losses in a transformer. So transformer is a combination of primary, secondary as well as magnetic core. So in this, so these windings must be represented by the primary, secondary and magnetic cores. So in this, whatever the currents or voltage is always drawn from the supply to overcome the iron losses in a transformer. So iron loss is a combination of hysteresis and eddy current losses. So in this, so we can draw the phasor diagram for better understanding of the concept of a transformer is to be operates on no load condition. We can draw the phasor diagram. So phasor diagram means, so common parameter is to be taken as the reference phasor. So common parameter means, so flux is the common factor in between primary and secondary. So that's why flux is to be taken as reference vector. Flux is to be taken as reference vector because of Flux is the common factor of primary and secondary winding. So this is the origin. The magnitude of flux is represented by some quantity in terms of Webers. In terms of Webers. Another one is whatever the voltages E1 and E2. E1 and E2. So in this, the relation between flux and induced EMF. Flux and induced EMF. First of all, we are considered as a, so V is equal to, or V is equal to Vm sin omega t. V is equal to Vm sin omega t. I is equal to Im sin omega t. So these two are the sinusoidal quantities. Sinusoidal quantities. So then induced EMF E is equal to d phi by dt. So in the similar fashion, so whenever the flux is to be generated in a primary winding, so which is also is equal to phi is equal to phi m sin omega t. Phi m sin omega t. So average induced EMF is equal to d phi by dt is equal to d by dt of phi m into sin omega t. Phi m into sin omega t. So which is equal to d by dt. That means phi m is a constant multiplied with d by differentiation of sin omega t with respect to dt. So that means sin ki cos omega t minus cos omega t. So which is equal to phi m into cos omega t. Phi m into cos omega t can be represented by sin of omega t minus pi by 2. Omega t minus pi by 2, which is equal to minus. So phi m into sin of omega t minus pi by 2. So which is equal to average induced EMF. If you have to find out the relation between these two is to be represented in sinusoidal quantities, but phi is equal to phi m sin omega t, that means omega t plus 0 degrees. So that is the horizontal. So induced EMFs is always represented by phi m into sin of omega t minus 90 degrees. Minus 90 degrees. So minus indicates the lagging nature. So 90 degrees. So that means induced EMFs of a transformer is always lagging in nature. Lagging in nature. So which is equal to exactly downward directions. Downward directions. So based on the magnitudes, which is equal to E2, otherwise E1. Otherwise E1. So that's why E1 and E2 is always is equal to phi m into sin of omega t minus 90 degrees. So which is always, or E1 and E2 is always lags the flux by an angle 90 degrees. Flux by an angle 90 degrees. So E1 and E2 is always lags the flux by an angle 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So in this, whenever the EMF is to be induced in a primary winding is always opposed as the main cause of producing it. Main cause of producing it. So that means, so V is equal to minus E1. Minus E1. So because of, according to the Lenz law, induced EMF is always opposed as the main supply voltage. So V1 is equal to minus E1. E1 is downward direction, which is also input voltage is always is equal to upward direction, because of these two are exactly opposite directions. Opposite directions. Opposite directions. So V is equal to minus E1. So induced EMFs are always lags the flux by an angle 90 degrees, which is to be given by this statement. E is equal to phi m into sin of omega t minus 90 degrees. Omega t minus 90 degrees. So another one is V is equal to minus E1. V is equal to minus E1, which is equal to V is equal to minus E1. So which is to be placing in this. So another one is whatever the voltage and current is to be drawn from the supply. Drawn from the supply. So which is to be denoted by I0. So I0 is the no load current. I0 is the no load current, which is always overcomes the two components. So one is the hysteresis losses, another one is eddy current components. Eddy current components. So in this, whenever the voltage and current or whatever the current is to be drawn from the supply, so which is always circulating through the magnetic core. Magnetic core is a inductive nature. Inductive nature. Inductive nature. So inductance in the sense, So voltage as well as current. So whatever the voltage is to be drawn from the supply is V naught. So corresponding current drawn from the supply is also lags the voltage by an angle phi. So that means input power factor is to be represented by an angle phi naught. Is to be represented by an angle phi naught. So that is the input power factor angle. Input power factor angle. So power factor is nothing but cosine of the angle between voltage and current. Voltage and current. So input voltage and input current, these two are displaced by an angle phi naught. So based on the magnetic core is a inductive nature. So that's why current is always lags the voltage by an angle phi naught. Voltage by an angle phi naught. So in this, so first of all, so we can differentiating or we can find out the phi naught value. So we can place the I naught. So because of V naught is already constant, because of E1 is always opposite to that of V naught. So then, so we can easily identifying the I naught value, then only, so we can differentiating V naught and I naught is to be replaced with phi naught. Is to be replaced with phi naught. So I naught is a combination of two losses. So one is the hysteresis loss and eddy current losses. So hysteresis losses is to be related to the type of magnetic material. Eddy current losses is to be related to currents. Here, whenever the currents is to be generated in a magnetic core. Generated in a magnetic core. So that's why I naught is a two components. So which is equal to IM component, magnetizing component. Another one is IC component. Magnetizing component and IC component. IM is the related to hysteresis losses. IC is to be related to eddy current losses. So IM is the magnetizing current. IM is the magnetizing current. So which is equal to IM, which is equal to IM. IM is equal to, so that means, so voltage is always in phase with the eddy current component, which is equal to IC, which is always in phase with the IC. So magnetizing component is always in phase with the flux, in phase with the flux quantity. So because of, based on the type of magnetic material only, it should be generates the flux. So that's why magnetizing component is always generated in a magnetic core with which is always in phase with the flux, in phase with the flux. So by resolving of these two components, when we are getting I naught, so I naught is to be presented by the two components. So one is the core loss component, second one is magnetizing component. So IC is also called as a working component. So that is the IC is equal to working component, or another one is core loss component. So which is equal to IC. So based on the phasor diagram, so we can easily identify the angle between I naught and V naught. So which is equal to the angle between V naught and I naught is equal to phi naught. So then, so IC is equal to I naught into cos. IC is equal to I naught into cos phi naught. So second one is magnetizing current. So magnetizing current IM is equal to I naught into sin phi naught. I naught into sin phi naught. So based on the measurements of these two components, so by using these two equations, so these two parameters are called as a circuit parameters of a transformer. Circuit parameters of a transformer. IM is equal to I naught into sin phi naught. IC is equal to I naught into cos phi naught. So these two equations is to be comes from the phasor diagram. So phasor diagram is to be comes from the transformer is to be operates on no load condition. So this diagram is again simplified into another path. So that is, so which is equal to V naught, current drawn from the supply is equal to I naught. Current drawn from the supply is equal to I naught. So which is to be divided into two parts. So one is the resistance component, another one is inductive component. So these two. So one is the R naught, another one is X naught. R naught and X naught. So these are the secondary terminals is to be automatically open circuited. So because of which is equal to E1, second one is E2. So this is the transformer single line diagram. So whenever the transformer is to be operates on no load condition, so which is to be represented by in this fashion. So transformer is to be operates on no load condition, corresponding current drawn from the supply, so which is equal to I naught. So corresponding current drawn from the supply is also is equal to IP, that is primary current. So which is equal to I1, primary current. So in this path, in this position, we are always calculating the I naught is equal to combinations of these two. So R naught is to be related, which is to be denoted by eddy current losses. X naught is to be related to hysteresis losses. These two are in parallel. So these are the resistances. Voltage across these two components is equal to, so current in this component is equal to IC, which is equal to IM. So without calculations of these two parameters, so we can easily find out the IC is equal to V naught divided by R naught. Otherwise, so IM is equal to IM. So it is equal to IC is equal to V naught divided by R naught. IM is equal to V naught divided by X naught or XM value. XM or X naught. So based on these expressions are also V naught is the input voltage. V naught by R naught or V naught by X naught is equal to magnetizing current as well as core loss or working component. So by resolving of these two components, when we are getting I naught is equal to IM plus IC. So whenever the I naught is to be calculated, then phase angle between these two is equal to cosine of the angle between V naught and I naught is equal to no load power factor. Okay, so these are the transformer is to be operates on no load condition. So second one is transformer is to be operates on all load condition. Transformer on load condition. All load condition. So in this, so first of all we can draw the circuit diagram of a transformer. So transformer input supply is to be connected to voltage, corresponding current is equal to primary current, so which is equal to primary voltage. So then which is equal to transformer load, secondary terminals is to be connected to load, so which is equal to voltage across the load is equal to Vs and Is, so which is also is equal to I2, so which is equal to V2. So voltage across the secondary winding is equal to E2 and E1. So this is the general circuit diagram of a transformer is to be operates on all load condition. So in this, secondary terminals is to be connected across the load. So which is equal to either resistive load, inductive load or capacitive load. So any type of load is to be connected across the load terminals. So in this, so the operation of a transformer is under all load condition is, So supply as well as currents is to be given to the primary of a transformer, so which is to be generates the flux. So that flux is to be linked with primary itself. It induces an EMF which is to be denoted by E1, So that flux is also links with the secondary winding. It induces an EMF which is to be denoted by E2, So corresponding current is to be delivered to load. So in this, whenever the load current is to be passing through in this position, in this path, so that is the return path. So these currents is always circulating through in these directions, so that means upward direction. So I2 current or load current is again circulating through the secondary winding, so which is to be generates the flux. So that flux is always opposes the main flux, So resultant flux is to be reduces. So to compensating the elimination of flux, so corresponding flux is to be generated in a transformer. So additional current is to be drawn from the supply. So why we are drawing the additional current? Because of, so generally primary current is to be given to the primary, corresponding secondary voltage and load current is equal to I2. I2 is to be circulating through the secondary winding in downward to upward direction, which is also links with the secondary winding. It induces an EMF which is to be denoted by phi dash. So main flux is equal to phi, so which is to always links with the primary to secondary. So secondary current is to be circulating through the secondary winding in downward to upward direction, so which is to be generates the, which is to be links with the secondary winding. It should be generates the flux is phi dash. So this flux is always opposes the main flux, so which is resultant flux is to be reduces. So resultant flux is to be reduces means, so less amount of current is to be delivered to load. So that's why to compensating the ampere turns is to be existing in a secondary winding. So additional current is to be drawn from the supply. Additional current is to be drawn from the supply. So additional current is always drawn from the supply, which is always links with the primary winding. So which is to be generates the ampere turns, which is always compensated by the whatever the current is to be links with the opposite directions. So that means ampere turns, or whenever the flux or phi dash is always resultant flux, which is always opposes the main flux, resultant flux is to be reduces. So whatever the ampere turns in a secondary winding is equal to I2 into N2, because of I2 current is to be circulating through the N2 turns, so which is to be generates the flux. So that flux is always opposes the main flux, resultant flux is to be reduces. So which is to be compensated, phi dash is to be compensated, additional current is to be drawn from the supply. So additional current is equal to I1, which is to be links with the N1, so which is to be compensated by the secondary turns. So then whatever the current or voltage is to be given to the primary, which is to be as usually, which is to be links with the secondary winding, and corresponding current is to be delivered to load. So in this I1 N1 is equal to I2 N2. So in this additional current is to be drawn from the supply, which is always is equal to I1 dash. Let us assume additional current is to be drawn from the supply, which is equal to I1 dash. So I1 dash is equal to N2 divided by N1 into I2. N2 by N1 is equal to K into I2. Is equal to I1 dash. So I1 dash is the additional current is to be drawn from the supply. To meet the requirement of a load. So this is very, very important equation. I1 dash is always is equal to K times of I2 current. So that means, so whenever the ampere turns is to be compensated by the secondary winding, corresponding current drawn from the supply, which is equal to I1 dash. which is equal to I1 dash. I1 dash is always is equal to K times of I2, K times of I2. So in this, so we can draw the phasor diagram of a transformer is to be operates on all load condition, so which is equal to 5. So 5. So then E1 and E2 EMFs is to be induced in the secondary winding, which is always is equal to downward direction. So which is equal to E2 and E1. So corresponding voltage. So I2 current, so which is also in phase with the voltage. So then which is equal to secondary current, because of we are connecting the inductive loads. Voltage current Is is always lags the voltage by an angle phi 2, which is equal to phi 2 degrees. This is the phi 2 is the load power factor. So E2 and I2, for example, which is to be considered as a I2. E2 and I2 are the load terminals. So corresponding load power factor is equal to phi 2. So I1 dash is always additional current is to be drawn from the supply. So that means E1 is always opposite to that of voltage. So which is equal to V1, which is equal to primary voltage. So then, which is to be operates on no load condition, which is equal to IM component, which is equal to IC component. So resultant is equal to I0 component. So in this, transformer is to be operates on no load condition, corresponding current drawn from the supply is equal to I0. So then transformer is to be operates on all load condition. So that means additional current is to be drawn from the supply to meet the requirement of a load. So that current is to be denoted by I1 dash. So that means total current is to be drawn from the supply, which is to be denoted by primary current, is equal to I0 no load current plus additional current. So summation of these two currents only when we are getting the input current. So that means we can find out the primary current or input current by adding of these two. So that means I0 is already known value, because of which is a combination of two components. One is the magnetizing component, second one is core loss component or working component. So the angle between these two is equal to phi naught. So this is the no load power factor. So phi naught value. So then I2 is known value. I2 and I1 dash. So both are in opposite directions with equal in magnitudes. Whatever the magnitude is to be represented in downward direction, same magnitude is to be represented in upward direction, which is equal to I1 dash. So why we are representing opposite directions? Because of I1 dash is always is equal to K times of I2. K is the transformation ratio, which is always constant. But in magnitudes, these two components are always equal. So by resolving of I1 dash and I0, so when we are getting the primary current, so which is equal to, by resolving of these two, when we are getting primary current. So in this, VP or input voltage or primary voltage and primary current, angle between these two is equal to input power factor angle, which is equal to phi P. So phi P is the input power factor angle. So in these loads, we can't be representing the resistance of a primary winding as well as inductance of a primary, resistance of a secondary and inductance of a secondary is not presented in the given transformer. Then only when we are getting this type of phasor diagram. Otherwise, those parameters are also included in the given circuit, which is more complicated. So after understanding of the concepts of transformer, then only we can easily draw those notations, either primary of resistance R1, X1, R2 and X2. So these four components are also existing. So in this, so there is no resistance and inductance of a secondary and primary windings. So that's why, so we can easily understanding about the phasor diagram of a transformer. So primary voltage and primary current. How to get the primary current? Primary current is equal to additional current and no load current. So no load current is always overcomes the hysteresis and eddy current losses. Why we are drawing the additional current? to meet the requirement of a load. To meet the requirement of a load. So load is equal to 5 amperes. Corresponding current, additional current is also drawn from the supply is equal to 5 amperes. 5 amperes. So I1 dash plus I0 is equal to primary current. Primary current. So secondary current is always lagging nature because of transformer is to be consists of a magnetic core which is always inductive nature. Inductive nature. Inductive nature. So that's why, so which is always current is lags the voltage by an angle phi 2. Phi 2 is the load power factor. Load power factor, that means cosine of the angle between V2 and I2. V2 and I2, which is to be differentiated by phi 2. So in this transformer, when we are getting the three types of power factors. So one is the load power factor, phi 2 in between E2 and I2. Second one is no load power factor phi 0, which is to be in between V0 and I0 or V1 or I0. Another one is phi p. So phi p is equal to angle between Vp and Ip. So these are the three types of power factors is to be existing in a transformer when we are operating on all load condition. So next class onwards we are discussing about we are connecting the resistive load across the transformer. What is the phasor diagram of a transformer? Second one is inductive load. Third one is capacitive loads. So then only we can easily understanding about the operations of transformer. Operations of transformer. Thank you.